a Chinese-owned company, was purely a commercial decision that must not be allowed to impact the excellent relationship between the two countries. The United Nations has warned that as many as 400,000 people have fled the Congolese city of Goma amid fears of a fresh volcanic eruption at nearby Mount Nyiragongo. Officials ordered the city to be partially evacuated, worried that lava flows into Lake Kivu would generate a tsunami and toxic gas cloud. The massive evacuation of people was triggered on Thursday by a rise in tremors coming from Mount Nyiragongo and fears that it could erupt once more. Hundreds of thousands have now fled the town to neighboring Rwanda. Aid agencies are responding, with displaced people requiring food, shelter, water, and sanitation. The Menstrual Hygiene Day is an annual awareness day commemorated on May 28th to highlight the importance of good menstrual hygiene management at a global level. Menstrual hygiene and health for millions of women and girls has resulted in suffering since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic and successive lockdowns. Lack of resources and poverty are said to be impacting on the ability of people to manage their menstruation, especially in accessing menstrual hygiene products. Menstrual health is a human right, yet menstruation can result in discrimination, stigma, and exclusion against women and girls, the World Body tweeted on Friday. And the Ugandan government is considering a second COVID-19 lockdown to manage a sharp increase in new infections. Health officials in the East African countries say more contagious variants of the virus, especially from India, Nigeria, the UK and South Africa, are to blame for the new increase in cases. Critics, however, say the government is partly to blame for the high number of cases after it relaxed measures against the virus after January's general election in that country. And back home, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, as at May 27, 2021, confirms 45 new cases of COVID in Nigeria. Total confirmed cases in Nigeria is 166,191, 156,553 discharged, and 2,071 deaths have been recorded so far. Now, those are the stories trending at this time on NTA International. Thanks for being a part of it. Political update is next.
A new general mounts the saddle as the helmsman of the Nigerian army. The task before him is daunting, but he must remain undaunted. We will look at the men at the tip of the fight against insurgents, bandits, and other criminal elements in society. House of Representatives focuses attention on the security sector. A special summit is expected to throw up several recommendations. Also on political update today, ECOWAS to tackle bad governance in the sub-region by giving more powers to regional parliament. I am Fisayo Gunfui. Welcome. President Muhammadu Buhari this week appointed Major General Farouk Yahya as the new Chief of Army Staff. Major General Yahya, who comes to his new post with an impressive resume of active service, is expected to hit the ground running in Nigeria's fight against insecurity.
I urge you all Major General Farouk Yahya was born on the 5th of January 1967 in Sifawa Bundiga local government area of Sokoto State. The new army chief is a member of Corps 37 of the Nigerian Defense Academy Kaduna in 1985 and was commissioned into the Nigerian Army Infantry Corps on the 22nd September 1990. Major General Farouk Yahya has held several appointments at different formations, including Garrison Commander, Headquarters Guards Brigade, Army Headquarters, Deputy Director of Research and Development, and the Chief of Staff Headquarters. Until his appointment as the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Farouk Yahya was the Theater Commander, Operation Hadinkai, responsible for counter-insurgency operations in the Northeast.
Immediate security measures will be taken to ensure that the nation's democratic journey is not truncated by any individual or group. National Security Advisor Major General Babagana Mungono gave the assurance at the Interagency Security Council meeting on election security at the INEC headquarters in Abuja.
Night of rain of gunshots in Oka, Anambra State, Sunday 23rd May 2021. And on Monday morning, this was the outcome. INEC Collation Center leveled, bringing to 41 the number of incidents at INEC offices in 14 states from 2019 to date. Bandits, Boko Haram members, NSAS protesters, post-election crisis, Togre, and hoodlums fingered as the culprit. An emergency security meeting. No serious smiles, because the agenda does not deserve such.
Our preliminary assessment so far indicate that we lost 1,105 ballot boxes, 694 voting cubicles, 429 electric generating machines, and 13 utility vehicles.
Obviously disturbed, the directives were clear. Let your hands always be on the trigger.
We are at
independent electoral commissioners to also replicate what is happening at the federal level.
Discussions later went backstage. The media is out.
The new chief of staff, new chief of army staff has his work cut out. That is to help the country batten down the hatches against insurgents, terrorists, bandits, and other outlaws. But what are the strategies to help him record success? Now, joining us via Zoom and other platforms is Major Gabriel Adofiku, retired, immediate past Secretary General of the Retired Army, Navy, and Air Force Officers Association right now. He joins us from Jos. He's also a development management and security consultant. Major, are you with us? All right, if you're with us, let me first offer dual condolences to you, sir, and the entire community of serving and retired military men over the demise of the immediate past Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Atairu, and 10 other officers. And of course, the dearly departed legend, General Joshua Dungoyaru. We'll be talking about this and more, but now that there's a new helm, a new name at the helm of the Nigerian Army, what should he be addressing that is of immediate importance? All right, while we'll wait to make that connection, let's take one more story on security. The House of Representatives is currently in an open forum aimed at coming up with innovative and practical solutions to the nation's security challenges.
At this time of our national history, when insecurity threatens the authority of the state and the foundations of our nationhood, when the activities of bandits, insurgents, and criminals of every stripe impede our efforts at progress and prosperity, we must confront the realization that our previous and current approaches to addressing the challenges of insecurity have not yielded the desired result.
And a recent introduction in the Southeast is another serious threat to the existence of this country, where government institutions are targeted our police, our security agencies personnel are being killed on a daily basis.
Inconveniences that we find when security agencies implement certain policies and guidelines. Sometimes it's not convenient for the populace, it's not convenient for the citizens. These inconveniences, of course, are part and parcel of the cost for peace.
All is not well appeared to be the title of addresses of various speakers at the event, as one after the other, in different words, lamented the challenges of insecurity in Nigeria. Talking, they said, is something that has been ongoing for years. They called for a better result-oriented response.
The social media, that's the worst. As lawmakers, what do you do? How do you handle such issues of the social media? Because before tomorrow and say Sultan calls for ban, I didn't say so. I didn't say ban social media. But how do you regulate it? We have seen this thing happen all over the world. Why can't Nigeria also borrow from that?
Anybody who claims to love Nigeria must realize by now that the insecurity situation calls for everybody's input to completely nip it on the board.
Between the age of 18 to under 40, we have them in numbers of more than 70%. How well are we carrying along these people in that age bracket? We are not engaging them at all. They are the most active in our system. Let us tell ourselves the truth. They are hungry and they are angry.
That there is an incontrovertible evidence of a linkage between drug use and the spate of insecurity. The bandits, the insurgents, and the criminals use drugs before launching their nefarious missions.
Secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, who representing President Buhari at the summit, said the nation's chief security officer is awaiting the recommendations of the summit, as he believes they will inject additional energy into current efforts to tackle the situation.
That our growing democratic system, institutions, and ethos provide for a good platform for various arms of government to collaborate and find solutions to national challenges of all magnitudes, including security.
The Summit on National Security is focusing on key areas such as the role of traditional institutions, bilateral and multilateral collaboration, peace building, and security reforms.
All right, Mr. Dofiku is back, and I was just saying to you, sir, has to have success. Association right now. It's also a development, management, and security consultant. Now, Major, let me first offer my condolences concerning, of course, the regrettable events of last week, and of course, the demise of the legend, the Lieutenant General Joshua Dongoro-Yaro. Let's quickly delve into the matter very quickly. What should he be doing, the new Chief of Army Staff, to perhaps bring the morale of the troops as well as battling the outlaws at the gates?
I think you have, in your introduction before the news bait, you have rightly rounded it up that he has a daunting task that must not be daunting. Congratulate Nigerians that we have a system that is running and running correctly. By the accident and indeed the hazards of the profession, we recently lost our immediate past Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Atahiru, and within a week we got a replacement. And there is a seeming antecedent like his predecessor. So as to the doubt as to his performance, permit me to say that Nigerians should be rest assured that we are going to get the job done. However, like you rightly mentioned, asking your question, what would we recommend to him as a strategy? The first strategy is Lieutenant General Atahiru had set the ball rolling, and he had put the enemy on the run. And when they are on the spot, he passes over them. That is gratifying. Therefore, his first strategy is not to lower the momentum. In other words, sustain the momentum and, if necessary, set an upbeat on the momentum. Selection.
Appointment.
That means he has a mark. And because he has a mark, that mark must not be daunted, must not be tainted, must not be let down. All we need to do as a nation is to continue to encourage him. Permit me at this point to say one thing. Every country has the peculiarity of its own armed forces and indeed the peculiarity of its own approach to solving combat issues or security issues in their countries. For example, the United States approaches security matters from the showmanship disposition. The Chinese approaches security management from the secretive disposition. The Israelis approach security matters from the result disposition. Nigeria, we must create our own position. It's saddening to note that we have a system where we want every aspect of our security management strategies analyzed on TV or radio, on the media. It's not done anywhere. You either take any of the positions expressed concerning the various countries and seek that which fits your country the best. And for our sake, permit me to say this with all sense of humility, knowing the fact that we are still a developing economy, a developing society, I would suggest that we approach security management from the results-oriented phase. In other words, let us upstage and put at the front burner the successes of our armed forces, rather than search out for the challenges they go through. Let the challenges be the job we have to sort out.
All right, thank you very much.
What we need to do.
Thank you very much, Major Gabriel Adofiku from Jos. Again, very wonderful intervention on the program. We'll also still be seeking your guidance, especially when we talk about these burning questions. We don't want you to tell us exactly all the, strategies, but of course, what will reassure Nigerians as well. Thank you for being a part of the program today. Now, on the sub-regional level, President Muhammadu Buhari has received his Ghanaian counterpart, Nana Akufo-Addo, with issues surrounding the political developments in Mali forming part of their discussion.
The President of Ghana is the current chair of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government. He's engaging. So we will see, in the next few days, what the leaders, this particular pushists, what they want exactly, and how ready to cooperate they are. And it's only at that point or after then that we will now explore all the options that are available.
And still on the visit of the President of Ghana, President Nana Akufo-Addo declared open the 2021 extraordinary session of the ECOWAS Parliament with a call on the region to advance more powers to regional parliament to checkmate bad governance.
With the reflections on the ideals of the ECOWAS Parliament as expressed in the anthem, members settled in for the first extraordinary session of the 5th Parliament, holding physically, no thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Our people honestly yearn for deliverables emanating from our service to them. To this end, we will continue to strive to improve every facet of their lives, while also ensuring that our community remains integrated and prosperous.
Equally, in this regard, takes us closer to achieving the plan of not just bonding our states, but also our peoples, as envisioned by our founding fathers. It is a step towards enhancing good governance.
President of Ghana and Chairman of the Authority of ECOWAS Heads of State and Government, Nana Akufo-Addo, wants West Africa to provide local solutions to the COVID-19 pandemic and committed to an immediate emergency extraordinary summit of heads of state on the Mali crisis.
Apart from our people living in a constant fear and uncertainty, we cannot expect to attract the requisite levels of investment should this state of insecurity persist.
I believe that it is now a consensus amongst all stakeholders that women must be included in all governance frameworks.
The session will also consider issues bordering on insecurity in the region's maritime space in the Gulf of Guinea, among others.
All right, we begin our special session on the 22 years of the Fourth Republic, and member representing Shaki West, Shaki East, and Atisbo Federal Constituency of Oyo State, Olajide Olatubosun, says youth empowerment on a massive scale could serve as a panacea to restiveness.
We want this country to remain one, and we want our people to be able to fulfill their purpose. So definitely, we are not interested in violence. Most of these youths that have become either bandits or kidnappers, I want to believe that if they are gainfully employed, even if we are not eliminating it 100%, we are going to have a kind of a massive reduction. It's almost impossible to have a country that have pockets of crime maybe one at a time, or in some cases. But if our youths are gainfully employed, if they know that the country, they have a stake in the country, the chances are that all those antisocial behavior, they are going to stop it. But let me reassure you, and I'm speaking for myself and also to a large extent for most of my colleagues, we are concerned about what is happening in the country. And we are not only interested about winning elections alone. Winning election, forming government, is to bring value to the table so that we can make the life of our people better than we met it.
Honorable Atumboson's comments and political update today. Don't forget the network service of Nigerian Television Authority is here to serve you and give you the very best of news, reviews, previews, and interviews. This weekend we move, of course, to the inauguration weekend where we, of course, look at the signposts concerning the performance of the current administration the past 6 years. This is the first half of it. And, of course, the 22 years of the Fourth Republic, all on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. My name is Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Thanking you for staying tuned. All the best. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye now.
Revision classes on television for students in secondary schools in English and mathematics will commence on the NTA. The revision classes will transmit Mondays to Fridays from 5 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. on the network service of the NTA. This is organized in preparation for the various national examinations and orders. This is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Education. Revision classes on television for students in secondary schools in English and mathematics will commence on the NTA. The revision classes will transmit Mondays to Fridays from 5 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. on the network service of the NTA. This is organized in preparation for the various national examinations and orders. This is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Education.